Welcome to our 24th segment of What About Your Story Saturdays. Today's topic is on Chapter 10, Sharing Your Gifts with Others. We are live on Facebook every second and fourth Saturdays of the month at exactly 6 p.m. Central Time. Today, Lion at Heart, Discovering Courage and Greatness Within, a leadership, personal, and spiritual growth book, will connect with your hearts once again. For the past 6 months, you guys, we have begun our freedom journey movement. And so much success have been achieved by these amazing women I'm working with. Touching people's lives, especially in the midst of COVID-19 epidemic, is one priceless mission, isn't it? We need people around us to bring a circle of light, joy, courage, and peace. And I could not be so proud to introduce to you our Lioness Circle of Light, who will inspire you today and share their remarkable untold stories of how sharing your gifts with others, found in chapter 10 of my book, Lion at Heart, can potentially leave a positive impact in people's lives. With so much pride, I'll toss you over to my beautiful lioness who touched my heart with her humility, grace, and genuine heart, Cara Petron. Welcome back, Cara, and take it away.
Oh, thank you so much, Kai. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone to our 24th segment of our live What About Your Story Saturdays, brought to you by the Lion at Heart, Discovering Courage and Greatness Within. Today, we, the Lioness Circle of Light.
I'm Alice from Texas.
I'm Evelyn from Louisiana.
And I'm Beth Busa from New Jersey.
And I'm Cara Petron from cold and chilly Minnesota. We'd like to talk to you today about our views and our stories relating to the Lion at Heart book, Chapter 10, Sharing Your Gifts with Others. And tonight I will start with my story. My Chapter 10 story, I was trying to think of something and I was having kind of a roadblock, and I've been going through kind of a tough time right now in my life. And so I was talking to my other lionesses of light, and I said, I just don't know what I'm able to talk about today. I'm trying to think of the right story. And I kind of was telling them what I was going through in my life right now. And they said, this is a perfect example of sharing your gifts with others. So tonight I just wanted to talk about some very dear friends of mine. Their names are Mark and Christy, and they've been high school sweethearts since we were young kids, and this was like in the early 80s. And they're happily married with 3 kids. And my wonderful friend Mark was diagnosed with ALS last March. And I know that most of you know ALS is a debilitating disease. There's no cure. At the time he was diagnosed, there's about a 3 to 5 year prognosis with a diagnosis like this. And so even 3 to 5 years to us when you're only 50 years old just seemed like an absolute, it's just hard to believe. We couldn't imagine it. And that was last March, and here we are now. It's only January, and he unfortunately has been taking a turn for the worse. And on Christmas Eve, he had to go into hospice. And this is a family that was learning the Catholic faith. They'd been a different faith religion all of their lives, and they were just taken in by the Catholic faith. And someone that was a mutual friend of ours said, come on, Mark, you're coming to church. And just the simple invitation of come to church with me. Mark started going to Catholic Mass, and he was going twice a week with one of our other friends. So the Catholic community just surrounded themselves with love and sharing their gifts. I just wanted to talk a little bit tonight about just a couple of the gifts that we've seen happen just in the last month. A family from the church gave them their van to use to be able to get his wheelchair into. They didn't have a van. They didn't know how they were going to travel anywhere and to appointments, and they gave him their van to use. Another example was they created like a meal train where for the last 2 months and now going into February, every day they have a meal coming to their home. People have just signed up. They're trying to find a spot. Everyone's signing up for meals for my friends and their family. The Catholic Church also has, and I'm just going to say his name because his name is Josh Milani. He is the musician and the music teacher at the Catholic school. He came over one day to do the Mercy Chaplet prayer, and he sang along to it. He has an amazing voice. He sang along to it, and everybody loved it so much. He's been going there every day at 3 o'clock to do the Mercy Chaplet prayer, and people just come. They just come and listen, and my friends open their home. My friend Mark is in his bed in the living room and on hospice, and the kids and my best friend Christy, his wife, have all kind of poured themselves into doing hospice at home so he could be home. And they've been having mass at home. And so just being able to be surrounded, we go as much as we can. We try to help with dishes. We help, just making sure that there's food and snacks for people. And I could just go on and on, but I'm keeping my composure today. Usually I'm a mess because it's just been so devastating, but I just wanted to talk about it today because the blessings in the suffering has been a theme for all of us through this whole thing. And he talks about, he's lost his voice now. That's kind of one of the last things that happens with ALS. You lose your voice, and he will tell anyone over and over again that having ALS opened his heart to the Holy Spirit more than he ever knew before, and that he wouldn't change having ALS because he's able to reach other people. People come into the home and they just say, we can feel the Holy Spirit working in this house. And like I said, we're just there every single day. We absolutely love going and just doing what we can, sharing our gifts, just being there. And so I just wanted to really share that story today because there's also one other quick thing I just wanted to say. There's a song called Reckless Love. I'm not sure if any of you heard of it, but it's a Christian song called Reckless Love, and it just always talks about how Jesus had the 100 shepherds, and he would, there was 99, if there was a lost shepherd out there, he would search out for that one just to bring him home and to bring him into his love. And I think that's just what we have to remember is we need to make ourselves uncomfortable. We need to do things. I know we're all so busy in our lives, but just making that point to go over to someone's house and say, can I help you? Or, trying to make life easier for other people in this time of darkness. I just think it's really ties in with your chapter, Kai. And one of the things that you said in your chapter was be willing to serve and not be served. And I think we need to think about that is just, we can get so much love and blessings and satisfaction out of helping others and serving others. And if we do these things, we'll surely be an example and an inspiration to so many people.
That's wonderful. That was wonderful, Kara.
So that's my chapter 10 story. Thank you.
Wow. Church is not a building. It's a group of people, group of believers that serve as the hands and feet of Jesus. And Kara, you're doing your purpose. You're doing your ministry. And we are so proud of you. And even in these trying times that you are able to shine your light on those peoples. We thank you. You're a blessing, Kara.
Thank you.
And right now I'm
Thank
going
you.
to share my chapter 10. Like Kara said, sharing your gift with others. The more you give, the more you receive. These are simple statements, yet so profound. Many uses it as a catchphrase, but it misses it altogether. I was reminded of a passage in the Bible where we are encouraged to give. If you give to others, you will be given a full amount in return. It will be packed down, shaken together, and spilling over into your lap. The way you treat others is the way you will be treated. Many would say, I don't have anything to give right now. I barely have enough. But it's because when people hear the word give, material things and money are the first come to mind. But I've learned in life that everyone has something to give, not just money or material things. We can give some of our time and presence to someone who is feeling down and alone. Most people just need someone to talk to that is willing to listen. Often, you do not have to say a word. Do not forget the power a simple smile can bring to someone's gloomy day. And I think the best of all is everyone can say a sincere prayer. And that's why I'm so grateful to be a part of the Lion at Heart Freedom Journey movement. Every member has a story to tell and life lessons to be learned. From our experiences in life, may be good or bad, we can touch the lives of those who are now going through the same. Kai in her book encourages us to take time to sit and reflect on those people who have guided our lives. I remember many of them, and the most precious memories I have of them was the words they spoke into my life. Kind, gentle, and loving words full of wisdom. Some gave advice, many are painful, but you can feel that they were given out of genuine concern for me. Many visited me in the warmth of their homes, invited me to the warmth of their homes when my husband is away from deployment. And there are few who took me under their wings, took the time to teach and guide and enabling me to stand on my own. I remember the many difficult times and trying times in 20 years of my husband when he was in the military. I might not have made it through those years without such people in my life. I thank God I am blessed. Now sitting here, I feel so blessed to have been surrounded by many selfless, generous, and loving people. I will always be grateful to have material and financial gifts I received over the past years. But nothing will take place of the genuine friendship, care, love, and valuable lessons these people was willing to share. As I now reflect on my life and what I bring into other people's lives, I am humbled to be able to say I followed and still follow the examples of those who invested in my life. I did not even realize I did to many what others have done for me. It is true then, you reap what you sow. Not every seed may bear fruit, but keep sowing anyway. Now I realize the importance of surrounding myself with people who can sow into my life, but more importantly, people I can sow into.
Well, Alice, what a wonderful testimony of not only your life, but in following the chapter 10 that Kai wrote in service, and not only realizing the small things you've done for people and appreciating what people have done for you. We so admire you're able to share with us tonight and appreciate all your trueness. And now I'm going to share with you my chapter 10. My name is Evelyn Mobile, and I'm from Prairieville, Louisiana. This holiday season was a particularly hard season for everybody, but it was the 20-year anniversary of my son's death. Christmas is the 25th, he died on the 27th, and we buried him on the 29th, which would have been his 27th birthday. So on one of my highlights before Christmas was a friend of mine who called, and we had been connected. She had been talking, she was living at her daughter's house and had decided to move back home. In planning her visit and listening to what she had to say, she told me she was suffering from a broken tooth in her mouth. So I said, well, that's an easy fix. But she was waiting for her daughters to come to take her to the doctor. So unbeknown to her, I called a local friend who connected us with a dentist. I told him what was going on. And in my visit, I brought her to the dentist. And he started, we're going to repair this tooth. But then he found, in examining her, that she had an abscess. And she needed to go to an oral surgeon. Now keep in mind, this is right before Christmas. You have to orchestrate everything. You have to stay on top of it and make it happen. So before we left the dentist's office, he set up an appointment with an oral surgeon for the following Monday, which is right before Christmas. And he asked me, he said, how are you related to this lady? Because he knew her husband who had passed and he knew the family. And I told him, well, we're a lifelong friend. And somewhere it's written we need to take care of the elderly. And when she was in need, I needed to listen to what she said. I was just bringing her for a little broken tooth. So the following Monday, we went into the doctor's office, and this is pandemic. We fill all the paperwork in. We're sitting in the car. So they bring her in, x-ray her, bring her to the examining room. And he said, okay, this is what has to happen. We have to have a doctor's release that she can have this done. We have to come in and remove the tooth that's abscessed. She had to be on antibiotics for the week before. And she was very calm. She was always anxious, but she said she knew she was well taken care of because she didn't have to worry about it all. So when I went back to bring her, the people in the office itself, you could feel the caring for her. And that made me glad for her because she was afraid. She was sick. She didn't know how sick she was because her daughter said, well, can't we wait till after the holidays? I said, well, she has an abscess tooth. The infection go to her brain, or she could be sepsis because she was recovering from cancer. There's 5 years she had been on chemo. So after much discovering, following up, credit cards, trying to come up with an answer for her because Medicare does not pay for dental or glasses. And this was a real issue. So when I asked the lady how much the visit was with the oral surgeon, she told me exactly how much it was. And I opened my wallet, and my husband had given me what I call baby money. And baby money is my money to do whatever I want with or need to. But I really knew he had given it to me for me to buy a Christmas present so he could give me. But I opened my wallet, and at that time, I knew that the exact money he gave me paid for her office visit. So that was my Christmas for me because I had it to pay it forward. So after much discussion with her daughter, she was coming in to take care of her. What the follow-up was, and I told her, look, if y'all can't figure out how to pay for this, I'm going to put it on my credit card, and we'll just make it happen. So a long story short, and a wonderful Christmas. All went well. She ended up having the procedure. Her daughter took care of her. I was blessed. I was blessed to be in her presence, and I heard what she needed. But more than that, I was blessed with having the time. That is the most precious gift we can give people, is listening to them and giving them our time. She needed to be taken care of. I was blessed by a husband who provided. He provided this baby money for me that I could do what I want with it, and I paid it forward to someone who really needed it. I was also blessed because he was in a frenzy of what he was going to give me for Christmas because I hadn't bought my gift. So he had bought me a day planner for 2021, and I gave it to him. He wrapped it, and when I opened it that day, he and I knew that we had the real meaning of Christmas. 2020 ended with a special friend who did not complain and who needed. And that is what I think this chapter 10 in this book is, sharing your gifts with others. Yeah.
Evelyn,
Yes.
you are rare, actually. Some would probably hold tight to their credit card, but you didn't. You actually saved a life. So actually, this topic is hard for me because when I check what a gifted person is according to the dictionary, it says gifted means a person's ability is exceptional. So what does that mean to an ordinary person like me? I couldn't see anything exceptional in me, but when I looked deep into who I am, I actually realized I don't have to be exceptional. Besides, I'm not guided by Mr. Webster. I know I have what I call spiritual gifts, and they come from a place of kindness, compassion, understanding, and love. Let me share a story that my mom told me when I was little. My mom was actually a teacher, and her father was the head of education in their town, in a small town. She said that every payday, she usually ends up with almost nothing. It's not because she shops a lot, but you see, the town where she teaches is not affluent. They're actually a poor community. She would buy materials and spend long hours helping her students so they can pass high school. Thanks to my mom, at an early age, I understood the value of sacrifice, sharing, and looking out for others. My gifts are not my own. I come to people not merely as myself, but it's a combination of hundreds of people before me. My grandmothers, my mother, and me. When I was stricken with breast cancer, I said the best and deepest prayer, and I begged God to carry me because I know I couldn't go through it. Not because I'm not strong, but I couldn't bear to bring this pain to my husband and my children. A lot of people offered to take care of my children, they asked to help drive me to my chemotherapy and surgeries. My friends visited me, sent me flowers, cards. I often have food to eat for my family because they cooked for me. They offered masses and prayers. My family and friends stood by me. I was actually at the lowest, but people took time. They took time to make me feel special, important, and loved. They all wished me well, and they all wanted me to live. We all may not be gifted with exceptional talents or skills. Let's all find time for people because that's what we all have. And you know what? That's what we all need. I've tried to be that to many. My ears, my heart, and my soul are always ready and patient to listen. I share my time because I don't want anyone to be alone. May I ask you, when was the last time you were present with someone? When was the last time you asked someone how they are and you really listened to what they had to say? Did you really hear the excitement in their voice, their pains or loneliness? Can I please ask everyone to close your eyes for a moment, just for a moment, please. Think of all the people you want to reach out and be with right now. Your mom, your dad, your son, or your daughter, a friend, or a neighbor. Just pretend you're with them and telling them how much you appreciate and love them. You've been wanting to, right? But just didn't have the time. But now, right at this very moment, you do. Just even in your thoughts. Now you can open your eyes. You know, everyone wants to leave a legacy. Money, fortune, all of that. But for me, the only legacy I want to leave is every life I've touched and every dark journey that I lit.
Wow, thank you so much, Beth. That was so touching and so amazing. And I agree with you. If we just take the time and slow down and tell people how we feel and make a point to be there for other people. It not only changes their lives, but it changes our lives too. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you,
Well,
Karen.
ladies, that was quick. That wraps us up on our series for today. I want to thank you, Lionesses, for sharing your thoughts and your heartfelt stories. We're grateful for you, Kai, for your mentorship and your wisdom. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in our next segment on February 6th, Saturday, same time, same place. God bless you all.